Good evening, and welcome to Nihon Nights, a modern-day vampire masquerade chronicle set in Japan. Awakening for the night is Elias of Clan Salubri, played by Noscavian. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor state. Wonderful. Marcelina of Clan Hakata, played by Larissa Rave. You will not be rousing just yet. Slip of Clan Nosferatu, played by Vamp Daddy. Please do a rouse check to arise from torpor. Sato of the Gaki, played by Softinomicon. You do not need to rouse to arise from slumber. Really need to work on that line, don't I? Kenun of the Gaki, played by Daybreakathon. You also do not need to rouse to awaken. So we begin. Marcelina has snuck out of the family's hunting cabin without waking Uncle. Having successfully acquired her gun, she rests it in a holster on her hip. She walks across the unkempt countryside, grounds in Ula. Wasn't enough coffee this morning. Please forgive me. Take two. We'll cut that out in post. Marcelina had snuck out of the family's hunting cabin without waking Uncle. Having successfully acquired her gun, she rests it in a holster on her hip. She walks across the unkempt countryside ground, in her bare feet, over loose sharp pebbles and dried-out dead twigs. The pain does not even register with her. Between her training and her determination, nothing will stop her. She reaches the stables, silently opening the large wooden barn door. Marcelina practically glides into the long structure. Still on autopilot, she approaches the holding for Ares, her horse. Marcelina has gone hunting with the family many times before, always on Ares. The trust between the pair allows her to simply rein the horse and ride the powerful beast bareback. What would you like to do?
I think that I'd like to, start off on the trail that's there, and then eventually break off deeper into the forest.
As you ride, you no longer care about the world around you. The horse is gracefully brought to gallop, away from the family home, into the forest, travelling along worn path, trodden into the mud over countless uses. The trees rush by as Marcelina rides forward, for what could be hours or seconds. Marcelina feels freedom, an almost foreign concept to her. The small pocket of worry expands, and Ares bucks suddenly, throwing Marcelina from the horse. She lands upon a snowy ice floor. What was once but a moment ago thick tree lines are now tall, stretched-out pieces of ice, nestled together tightly, reaching out for the sky. The biting wind howls. Its bitter cold pierces Marcelina's skin. She looks around and finds herself in an icy wasteland. Ares no longer a horse, but a large wolf. Ares was never a horse, Marcelina remembers. He was always a dog, not a wolf. The wolf has raised up its hind legs. Its thick tail whips over its ducked-down head that bears the large sharp teeth under its snarling muzzle, primed to attack. What would you like to do?
Is it facing me or outward at a threat?
It's facing you.
Okay. One hand goes to her gun, but the other reaches out a bit. Not too close, but sort of, palm up like this. And it's like, Ares, boy, what's wrong? What is it?
Continues to growl at you threateningly. It doesn't move, but you realize through the fur that is standing on end, the aggressive growl and the posture, he is primed to attack you.
I'm gonna do something a little weird. Because you said the floor is ice, right? If I look down, can I see my own reflection, or is there something else there? I'm trying to see what Ares sees,
You see your own reflection.
why he wants to attack. Okay, alright. Don't make me do this, please. Not you, Ares. You're my one thing. Please don't make me do this.
Bares its teeth and starts leaning back as if to pounce.
Marcelina takes her gun out. She levels it. She lets out all the air in her body as she slowly puts her finger on the trigger. And like as she's exhaling, she's slowly squeezing, following through as she's been trained to do. The moment that he begins to like move forward is when she's going to shoot him in the head.
That is normally composure and firearms, but in this particular situation, I would like you to roll resolve and firearms, please.
Okay.
Three dice I can re-roll, and there's a potential crit. I'm gonna take it. And I failed. Marcelina, you bring the gun to bear upon Ares, aiming directly for the head. You don't want to do this, but it is a question of survival of the fittest. You let off a single round. You fight back the emotional surge that runs through you as the bullet leaves the chamber and cuts through the air, impacting into the wolf's skull. Instead of a bloody, grisly mess, the wolf simply fades away, leaving you alone amongst the snow and the ice-covered trees. What would you like to do?
Is there anything that I see? Marcelina's gonna sort of do a scan, looking first through the trees, then out and up into the sky, and then back down. She's looking for any other threats.
There are no other threats. There is a path that you came along behind you, and there is a path in front of you. Strangely, there is no moon, there is no sun.
Okay. I think, Marcelina peeps her gun out, steals herself, and she's actually gonna go back towards the cabin. She's gonna go back home.
Walking or running?
I think at first she starts off walking, kind of very cautiously, listening out for any threats. She can trust her own feet to not make noise. She knows these grounds well, but she's listening for any sounds. And the closer that she gets to the house, she starts taking off running.
As you run through the snow and ice, weaving your way through the trees, your feet ache from the cold as you fight against the snow. Your legs ache as you will them through the snow. It's trying to hold you back, as if you were wading through water, fighting for every single step. Finally, you have to stop, a body incapable of moving you forward anymore. Your chin rests on your chest as your head lops down, exhausted. Before you can catch your breath, Ares is once more in front of you again, in the same attack pose, ready to pounce, his teeth baring. He is closer than he was before.
I think something kind of comes over Marcelina, maybe something that's more true to her nature. And maybe it's a little bit of frustration. She will sort of lean forward until she lands on her hands, and her like shoulders kind of roll back, and there comes over her face almost beast-like expression, and she looks Ares directly in the eye, and it's I think a moment of like dominance that's happening there. Should he attack, she's gonna pounce as well and tussle with him.
Manipulation an animal again, please.
Okay.
Marcelina is able to keep focus, not letting the large wolf intimidate her. She stares into the animal's eyes, remembering what Ares was truly like. And slowly, his fur relaxes from standing on end. The wolf approaches her, and seems to shrink under Marcelina's touch, turning back into the familiar form of her dog. Marcelina, without realizing it, finds herself back within the forest, near the hunting cabin, no longer surrounded by ice and trees.
I think Ares is a rather big dog, but sort of like a hybrid wolf kind of mix that's happened with him. But she, almost as in for comfort, brings him in closer to her, and she tries to get up with him. And the intent is to go back into the cabin. But she doesn't trust being outside right now.
You take a single step forward and find yourself outside of the cabin. You don't remember the journey, how long it took. You merely remember just being there. Please rouse to awaken from torpor. And you may fill your willpower tracker.
Oh, wonderful.
Marcelina, having now arisen from your day rest, is there anything you wish to do before making your way downstairs to the living room to meet up with presumably the rest of the coterie?
Yeah, Marcelina goes into her closet, and in one of her suitcases, sort of buried deep down, is a pelt. She takes it out and she holds it against herself, remembering Ares. Ares died of old age, but she needed to keep something so he could be with her forever. She tosses the pelt over that's sort of been fashioned as like almost like a shawl of some kind with a small tie. And then from there she takes a breath that she doesn't need, and she'll walk out. And her instinct is to go to Slip's room. She wants to check in on him, but then she changes her mind. She goes back downstairs, where she assumes most of everyone is going to be gathered up.
Nihon has stayed in his bare room and is confronted by the brick, his only possession. The message from Haruto that no matter what, Kenun had an ally, a friend. But now, Nagaki is alone. He faces the entire country and can only rely on himself. The constant nightmares he faces every day do not let him forget the weight of the situation bearing down on him. Of all the things Kenon has faced and lost, the loss of his friend hits hardest. What would you like to do, Kenon?
Kenon picks the brick up idly, as though weighing it in his hand. Then he suddenly raises his arm as though to hurl it through the nearest wall, only to just as suddenly stop himself. Sinking to his knees with a hand over his eyes, gripping the brick tightly enough for bits to crumble off beneath his fingers. He isn't crying. Kenon doesn't cry, not even when he's alone, but his hand is over his eyes, and it's a while before he can bring himself to stand. And when he does stand, he seems very much composed as usual. He picks up the brick, gently now, and leaves his room. After the brief moment of hesitation, he sets the brick down on the table and begins to search the house for incense, something to burn it in, and that bottle of sochu that Haruto left behind before.
And then, as Kenon is searching the house, you're all gathered downstairs. This is clearly happening in front of you. What are you all doing?
You gonna have to give me one more again. What happened?
Kenon is downstairs. I believe brick in hand still. And
Now, he set the
searching.
brick on the table and is now searching the house, looking through all the drawers, rooting around for incense.
Okay. I think Marcelino will just ask, what are you looking for?
Incense.
Oh. She'll get up, and in a drawer, sort of wrapped up, is sort of a bundle of incense of varying types, and she pulls two out, sort of holds it up to them. Here you go. What's
Kenon
it for?
takes it maybe a little bit, his motion's a little bit sharper than usual. Normally he's very calm, composed, deliberate in his motions, but there's almost a haste this time. There's something I must do. And he doesn't wait for anybody. He's just immediately gonna walk off, going back to the green space behind the house. With the brick, and the bottle of soju, and the incense.
I would say, given my clan, would I be able to sort of piece together what's happening here? That it's like a final goodbye being done.
I don't even think that would be clan knowledge. I think you should have that for free. Slip certainly would.
Cool.
Sato certainly would. Elias is a nosy motherfucker.
So probably would know too. Right. I think once Kenon leaves the room, Marcelino will stand up and say, we should join him.
Yeah.
I think he could use the support.
I'll bring some hot tea.
Sato is already headed out the door, following very quick. Well, not right behind, but respectfully close behind.
Yeah. Marcelino
Elias
will
will-
follow.
Elias.
Slip will be the last one to follow.
Kenon walks around the back of the house, the rest of the coterie in tow. Through the empty green area left untouched by kine, trees rest in the distance. Beyond them, the lingering mountain that overlooks the village. Kenon walks through the unkept grass beyond a small Shinto shrine that rests next to a well-trodden path, and heads to a small area among the wilds, surrounded by tall, thick evergreen trees. What would you like to do?
And strides ahead, not knowing or seeming to care if the others are following. He's just going on ahead. And he places the brick in the dirt beside a tall tree, balancing it upright in the facsimile of a tombstone. Gathers some small flowers to arrange around the brick, and he lights the incense, pausing for a moment to gather his thoughts. Such words do not come easily to me, dear Haruto, but I must say something. You were a good friend to me. My best friend. My only friend. You carried yourself honorably, and though the road you walked may have been cut short, your time beneath the moon was not without value. I hope, I pray that you found fulfillment there at the end. Mercy is scarce in these final nights, but I pray that it has found you. I pray to carry the kindness you showed me into this dying world, and I hope I have the strength to walk the path you laid at my feet, dear one. Know this, Haruto. I shall honor your memory. You did not strive in vain. And with that, he pours a drink out for Haruto and leaves the rest of the sochu beside the brick as a sort of offering, then dusts himself off and turns back towards the house.
What the rest of
When when Kenun started lighting the incense and stuff like that, Marcelina would have kneeled, sort of sitting on her calves, and when Kenun finishes and then goes to leave, I think Marcelina's gonna stay there for a little bit. I don't know if the others will stay or if they'll follow Kenun, but she's gonna stay.
I think Sato's gonna follow Kenun.
I think Elias will follow Kenun as well.
The moment Kenun started talking, like 3 sentences in, he just kind of faded into the backdrop to go back to the house.
Marcelina, as you are alone with the brick, are there any last words that you would like to add?
You know, I didn't like you much, but I think I respected you. We wouldn't have been friends, but I saw that you lived with honor and with a passion for life. We'll take care of him. You get your rest. And she is going to take off the pelt. She's going to fold it up neatly. And she's going to lay it there next to the brick and the soju. And then she's going to get up. She's going to go back into the house.
All make your way back inside. Wherever you would like to be inside of the haven. If there's anyone that would like a conversation.
Yeah, Kenun is just immediately walking towards where he normally goes to meditate, as though he fully intends to go back to the routine as normal.
I want to say that I don't know if Sato's actually going to be able to catch him before he sits down to meditate or anything, But the minute they're like in that room, or there's like he stops moving, Sato's gonna kind of Ken, are you okay?
Yes. His face is impassive. His body language is like completely as it normally would be, so it would seem.
I know that my apologies lately haven't really felt like they've meant anything, but I just wanted you to know that I meant it when I said I was going to try harder. I
hope
don't-
that's true, dear Sato.
I don't want to make you lose another gawky friend.
There are so few
Please.
of us left these nights.
Give me a second. And he's gonna go upstairs. I'm just gonna say, I'm going upstairs to where my stuff is. And he's gonna root around in his things. And he's going to try to find some of his stuff. Because various drugs, before they're smoked herbal substances, are technically edible plants. Or plants of some type.
Yeah?
I can't. He doesn't know if he can get any kind of food, even though he knows that's normally the offering. But he tries to get together what's not like a hard drug, like some fucking, I don't know, a flower or something. And he's gonna go run down to Haruto's kind of makeshift grave and leave that as an offering. It's something he's like all he has. And I don't know if Marcelina left after that, I believe.
Yeah, Marcelina went back to the Haven and caught up.
When he does get to Haruto's grave, he's gonna kind of get on his knees and be very respectful, putting the offering down. And just very quietly, we didn't get to know each other very well. But I promise. I know it's rich coming from me, but I promise I'll try to look after him. Make sure I don't hurt him. And I do hope you're happy. I hope you're happy wherever you are. I hope we all don't just disappear after all this. He's gonna stay quiet for just a little while longer, and then he's gonna calmly walk back to go meditate next to Kenun.
Elias would come in with a tray of hot green tea. Can I interest anyone in hot tea?
There's a moment of pause, and then Kenu nods. Yes, thank you, Elias.
Sato
Elias.
also takes one.
Elias would set a cup down for all three of them and pour them each a cup of tea and sit down. Sipping the tea.
Where is Slip right now?
Slick went right back to the house before Kenyon had finished, and he is currently in the attic, barricaded in. tinkering, keeping to himself, as wounded and hungry as he is. It went so well last time. He's just kind of up there right now. Trying to keep his shit together.
Marcelina, noticing Slip's absence, will go back outside, and she is going to essentially call upon the strength of having grown up, spending a lot of her time at the cabin, and she's gonna snatch up some rats for Slip.
I'll let you do that for free. Say you've got 2 rats, no problem.
Okay. She has them, one in each hand, sort of shoulders open the door, and then she's just gonna walk up to Slip's room. She's gonna knock, and say, "Slip, it's me. Let me in. I got something for you."
There's that heavy wood-on-wood grinding sound as things are shifted. The door does open fully, for Marcelina specifically.
She'll step in and then sort of like with her foot shut it, and then hold up the rats. "You looked hungry."
She's going to do what you do with 2 rats when you're kindred and you're hungry. One of the carcasses will be pitched in the bin afterwards, and the second will be consumed entirely.
It's like one hunger.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. You doing all right?
Figuratively. I'm still here.
You are. You scared to be around anybody now?
No. It is simply less wise.
I hear that. What are you working on?
Party poppers.
What do you make of all this, Niktuku business?
It's news to me. I was embraced, not educated, traded, forgotten. I know about as much as you all do.
Well, I wonder if there's not a way for us to do some research. Local folklore or something like that to give us a trace. I mean, obviously, you can't put in the search bar Niktuku and hope something pops up, but you know what I mean.
Right. I wouldn't know where to begin other than simply getting on occult forums and websites and shifting through all the Slender Man crap.
Right. Storyteller. So I know that I don't think I would know too much about the Niktuku, right? But would I have heard, just in my line of work, information maybe on some cases or strange happenings that align with what Joe had told us about the Niktuku?
Wits and intelligence. Well, wits or intelligence, and occult, please. Whichever you prefer. Joho.
Okay, we're gonna rouse the blood for Joho.
Means information.
Cool. I do, which is why I said it. Okay. So, we're successful. We don't get hungrier. And you said
Wits or
occult and intelligence?
Wits or
Okay.
intelligence, whichever you prefer, and occult.
Okay, we'll go intelligence. I add 3. Ooh, no. I think I'll do a willpower reroll just to get maybe I'll get some successes there. 2.
Okay. Your vast experience in your line of work, it's not an unfamiliar story. An unknown figure, something crawling out of the shadows and then attacking. A monster, for all intents and purposes. The figurative boogeyman. Everyone has one. When you're a child, something hides in the cupboard or something like that, and it just turns out to be Softy. The difference with the Niktuku is the brutality, the targeted focus of Nosferatu over anything. And you have heard tales of Nosferatu mysteriously disappearing, Nosferatu being afraid of something lurking in the dark that isn't them. But the thing about Niktuku is they're so elusive, so rare, they may not even exist. Those that have seen them, only the Nosferatu take them seriously.
Alright. So I relay all that information to Slip. And I say, most kindred don't believe they're real. But then again, most kindred aren't their focus. Their focus is you, Nosferatu. Those like you. We've got 2 options. We go up into the mountains, give an offering and hope it gets us some information. Or we go to that abandoned restaurant and try to retrace your cousin's steps. I think that this decision should be left up to you. How you want to approach this, because quite frankly, you're the one who's going to be most at risk.
But here I am, nowhere near my haven, fresh out of machine gun nests. Well, I guess we can try the forest first. Failing that, second option, the restaurant. Failing that, no clue.
Alright then. The forest it is. I see a difference in you. From
Yes.
how you were before. And, normally, I'd say, good, but you haven't always been that way, and so things that used to matter aren't going to anymore. And as someone who lived majority of their life in that state, be careful. It's real easy to slip.
I spend most of my nights being careful. And it has rarely left me in the green. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't... Do you know what a white is?
The color?
No, alright. there's a point that we as kindred can get where consciousness goes away and you become the beast. You become that other, that thing that's in your head. And you don't come back from it. It's very rare. I don't know that anyone ever has. You become no different than a wolf.
If they are not taken by Yama kings and the like first, yes?
Yeah. I got your back, Slip.
Thank you so much. There's a bit less of it now, but I appreciate it. I have your back as well.
I appreciate that too. I'm assuming you don't have any hiking shoes.
Just the one pair of shoes, really, and the soles are barely attached, but it doesn't matter too much.
Well, what size are you?
I don't really know anymore.
Judging by when I look down, ST, I'll look at his feet. Can I get a rough guesstimate of what size he is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I don't say nothing. I just walk out the room, and I'm assuming, even though it is a village, that they've got like a small, store in which they can pick up clothing and stuff like that. And I'm gonna get him a pair of at least decent sneakers, something better than his worn out shoes. That'll be my intent for a little while until we head off.
Instead of that,
Okay.
you've got, you can easily find a spare pair of suitable trainers or boots or anything like that just around the house. It seems as well
okay
something
with
that
that too.
Marcelina would have would be alternative clothes to her own for infiltration and job purposes. It seems to
For
fit
sure,
that you
for
have,
sure.
I suppose, for lack of a better term, a disguise kit kind of thing.
Yes, that's fine. That totally works for me.
Yeah.
So Marcelina will leave Slip's room and not go far. She goes into her own room, open up her closet, and she's rustling about in there, and maybe every once in a while, like, tosses a shirt or something over the back of her shoulder, and she'll pull out a pair of really rather well-kept shoes. They're, in fact, not sneakers. They are boots, like, meant for being outside, being in the outdoors. Comfortable boots. Sort of like a dark brown leather, and the toes themselves are steel. And then she'll return to Slip's room, and she'll say, "Go on, try these. See if they fit."
Sitting at his chair, at his workbench, he'll pull off the shoes. And I don't even think that they are from the same set. Everything he's got is multiple layers from effectively the rubbish. And he will attempt to stuff his feet
She gives him
into
socks too, so he's not
Marcelino-sized
just
shoes.
No, they're not me-size shoes. They're shoes meant to make my footprints seem bigger than what they are. Yeah. She'll, throw him a pair of wool socks too to go with him, so he's not just sticking his feet in leather. Yeah.
All right.
I think Slip will notice that right away. It's like, wait a minute, because Marcelina doesn't have very big feet, but like, you'll notice the difference. Like, wait a minute, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, the socks he's got on are more like fingerless gloves.
Yep, which is why she.
They're more just like the neck around the. Yeah. So
He's got
those
leg
will end up
warmers
in
on.
the. Yeah, those will end up in the rubbish as well, and he'll wiggle his toes, lace them up.
good?
I suppose.
All right then. At some point, we'll have to get you all new clothes, but I think this will do for now.
Don't really need new clothes.
You don't, but you still should have them.
Why? What use do I have for these things?
It's far more comfortable to be in clothes that don't have holes in them, that aren't threadbare.
Comfort.
Small comforts, but it matters.
Unless I
My
soften
uncle
it.
used to say, my uncle used to say, feel good if you look good. And I find that often helps quite a bit.
I find my flesh to be hard and waxy, and quite resistant to comfort or discomfort. But if it will make you feel better, perhaps a nice windbreaker to wrap around these smelly layers.
Or a leather jacket with metal plates in them. How you become bulletproof.
Metal plates. Maybe.
Just a thought. There's like a little smile on her face, and then she'll be like, well, I'll tell the others where we're headed. And then she leaves the room, and we'll go back downstairs to
Noscavian, don't.
meet up.
Don't. Please don't.
Marceline will go and she'll meet up with the others.
As she is going down the stairs, she will hear the door shut and that big, heavy barricade slide back in front of the door until they are leaving. He is just in there. He just lives there now.
While that conversation is happening upstairs, leaving Keno and Slip, Sato and Elias with his lovely warm feet, is there any... Keno and Sato and Elias, sorry, is there anything the three of you would like to talk about?
I mean, for his part, Kenun is almost being, like, aggressively composed, even more, like... If it's possible to be even more contained than usual. He is more contained than usual, but he's usually pretty contained, so...
Come on, let's all join hands and we can have a nice, relaxing song. Something to just sort of de-stress.
Thank you,
Decompress.
Elias, but I do believe I shall pass.
Oh, very well. At least the tea is soothing.
Rather than say anything, Kenun just takes a sip, rather than dignify that with a response.
I think you actually make pretty good tea.
Thank you, Sato.
One of the redeeming qualities, yes.
I mean, Elias has other redeeming qualities as well.
I'm sure we can think of some.
You need to stop to think about redeeming qualities?
It's
Well-
not something I often pause to consider.
I consider them in myself, and that I don't really have any.
I'm very helpful. I care about my coterie and my friends. I heal. I do so much. I help us in situations without violence. I take care of my flock.
Of
I
course.
brew tea.
You know, I wonder, Is there a difference between a redeeming quality and just a good quality?
Yes.
What is the difference between that? Does someone have to have an, what, horrible quality to make a good one redeeming?
Pray, phrase that question again.
Well, if someone only has good qualities, then they couldn't have a redeeming quality. Right?
I see. You are saying that if someone is all good, they need not be redeemed. Yes?
Yeah,
Am I understanding?
yes.
I suppose one might argue as such, but of course this depends. Is there an objective? The word good is so wishy-washy, is it not?
I guess so. Isn't there... I mean, there's gotta be a basis for what's good. It's a baseline to it.
I think this is where Marcelina would walk in. She'd be leaned up against the doorway, and she'd say, "Well, my uncle used to say that the difference between a hero and a villain is that a hero will let you burn to save the world, but a villain will burn the world to save you." So, are you a hero or are you a villain?
What are you?
Can we just save everyone?
That's an
Elias.
ideal.
Marcelina smiles.
Remember what I said long ago about the garden.
Who are you asking?
Elias,
You.
do you remember what I told you long ago about the garden?
Oh,
Yes, I believe so.
That is why we cannot save them all.
To answer your question, Sato, I thought it'd be obvious. I'm a villain. It's okay to be the villain.
That does win a bit of a sidelong glance from Canoon.
Marcelina is smiling, and it's like her trademark shark-like smile. That absolutely reaches her eyes. She doesn't have any qualms about what she said.
mhm. I have no idea what I am. And he just full falls onto his back and just stares at the ceiling.
Elias, something that you are very good at is healing. You should go see Slip.
Oh, very well. I'll do that. Hopefully he's not as hungry. And
I fed him.
oh, wonderful. Elias will politely nod to everyone, give a little bow, and then he'll head out to go attend to Slip.
Marcelina will like step over to where Sato is and look down at him, and then like squat, and so that she's like looking at him upside down, you know. And she just says, "Well, you gotta figure it out, Sato. That's part of the problem. You don't know.
Yes, rather.
You don't know what you are. All your choices, if you don't have a foundation, none of it sticks. You can get yourself into a lot of trouble. You intend to survive, you most definitely have to pick a side, so to speak."
He stared at her for a good long moment. You can see the gears turning behind his eyes. Something she said definitely clicked in him. And I think he shoots up really quickly. Looks back to Marcelina and says, "Do you have any more of that incense you gave Kenun?"
Yeah.
And I please have
And
some?
Marcelina will go and get it. Yeah, she'll go and get it. She'll go to the kitchen, grab the bundle, bring it back, and hand him two.
And he's going to take it. Thank you. I need to go do something.
Handle your business, but we will be leaving soon.
Don't worry. I don't think this will take very long. And Sato is going to go upstairs into his room. And he is going to find... Well, he's going to change out of his normal vest and such, and he's going to put on a much more covering piece of clothing. And though, if I'm not wrong, it's going to grow back. He's going to cut off his hair. Probably about down to his shoulders.
Okay. Yeah.
He knows I believe it will grow back.
The very next night.
He does not mind that. He just wants it. And he's going to put all of it into something, wrap it around in cloth. And he's going to go escape into the backyard, farther away from where the brick for Haruto is. And he is going to bury these items, and he's going to set up the incense. And in a solemn moment, with very little dialogue, he is going to say goodbye to him as a Tremere. And Slit. And he's going to take a long moment and probably cry his eyes out. And when he is done, he is going to stand up. And he is going to go back to find the others. And do his best to clean up his face before getting back there. And the minute he's in the building, without saying anything, he's going to walk up to Elias and give him a hug.
Elias would give Sato a hug. Oh, how are you feeling, Sato?
Better.
Good. Thank you for the hug.
Thank you, Elias.
Of course, I'm always happy to help my friends.
He's gonna awkwardly touch his now much shorter hair.
Oh, I see you've cut your hair, Sato.
Yeah, I just needed to do it for a reason. It's too long and it gets in the way.
Oh yes, I quite understand that. Luckily my hair's already a bit on the shorter side. Well, actually, no, I guess my hair's kinda long, isn't it? Yeah.
A little scruffy, I imagine, yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps I should try cutting my hair sometime too. It looks good on you, Sato.
Thank you.
While Sato was gone, Marceline will sit next to Kenun. And she'll say, "How are you? And don't tell me you're fine. I know you're not."
And in return, I shall say, what kind of question is that?
A good one. You've just mourned your best friend. And now we're going to have to take up the work to find and possibly fight a Niktuku. How are you?
There is a long pause before he answers. I am as I am, and that is all I can say.
Will you be able to maintain long enough for Sato to learn?
That is my intent.
Good.
Do not fear. I do not intend to let this inhibit me.
When the Gaki die, where do you go?
Back.
Are you rebirthed again, or is it just this one time?
We go back to the hell from which we crawled, and we do not come forth again.
I don't know how much longer I have, or how much longer I can hold it off. And the thing that's trying to take over.
But you are trying.
I am. But I can't be who I'm not. You know? I was born a certain way and then trained to remain on that line. There's been some hiccups and changes in my being. I won't deny. But it has caused me more conflict than aided me. Now, I know I made a promise. I don't know how long I can keep it. And given the things that we have to do, even after the Niktuku, there may come a point where I cannot keep it.
I hope that you may align yourself with the cycle, dear Marcelina. You are as you are, yes, but you need not be in conflict with the world.
My plan is that when that time comes, I will direct myself at the threat. And I need you to do me a favor.
Name it.
Don't let them stop me.
If you are pointed in the correct direction, dear Marcelina, I would not dream of it.
Then we understand each other.
Indeed we do.
Marcelina, without saying anything, is just going to reach over, like not looking at Kenun at all, is going to reach over and put her hand on his, squeeze it, and then let go. She's going to get up and she's going to walk to the door, turn her head, and say, "We're going to that forest. We got to bring an offering."
He acknowledges her words with a nod.
And then she'll leave. And she'll go to the kitchen to start getting the stuff that they need for this offering.
Be a problem. Everyone want to start heading out into the people carrier?
I would like to go to Slip to heal him.
You'll be able to, of course, stand outside, knock on the door, and wait for his response.
Hello, Slip, are you home today?
The door and the barricade will shift just enough for like a thin bar of Slip's like face to appear with like one eye peeking out.
Oh, hello, Slip.
Hello.
Are you in need of any healing?
Oh. Maybe supervised.
Well, I think Marcelina said you've been fed, so there shouldn't be any issues.
If that is how you feel. He'll shift the barricade the rest of the way and open the door.
Yes, of course, Slip. I trust you complete. And
You
Elias
should
will walk
not.
in.
You should not do that. He'll shut the door and go.
I trust all of my friends.
He'll sit on the stool.
And I will take my time and the remainder of the scene to heal you.
I believe you have to do a rouse check as well, don't you?
Yes.
And if you take the remainder of the scene, is it 1 aggravated damage that you can
That's
heal?
just enough for one act.
Lovely. Yes, it is just enough. Clever using it at the end of the scene when everyone's going to the people carrier. I'm onto you.
I'm sorry.
That's genuinely a clever idea and clever use of it. I can't disagree or anything with that. It's clever use, simple as that. Well done. And would everyone like to head out to the people carrier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You each leave the haven. Marcelina straight away, boarding into the driver's side. Everyone else, I would assume, unless you say otherwise, boarding into the rear, taking
Shotgun.
seats inside.
Are we doing 2 cars or 1?
I think we'll be okay to do one.
Sure.
Plus, the other
Slip
one doesn't have windows.
Slip will ferret himself away into the way back.
Marcelina ignites the engine, guiding the people carrier off the front drive. And begins to make their way to the other side of the mountains, driving through winding country roads that are well kept for obvious reasons. The hue of Yamagata City glows to one side of you, darkness, darker than you have ever seen before, on the other. As the car cuts its way through the winding road, is there anything any of you would like to talk about?
Just as a refresher to make sure that I have this right in my head, the person in this mountain is another Nosferatu?
It was never explicitly stated.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Okay. I think as I'm driving, Marcelino will look through the rear window, or the rear view mirror, and sort of, vibe check the car. And then we'll, not very loudly, though no one else seems to be talking, but she will say to Sato, having noticed his haircut, say, I see you picked a side.
He immediately kind of turns and goes, "Yeah, I did."
Good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
She'll say nothing else and just keep it pushing.
Do we know where we're stopping for the sake?
Oh, already got it. And she'll lift up a brown paper bag that's got a bottle of sake in it, and some cups.
Perfect.
Also gonna have to give some blood. That's part of the offering. So
Great. Love that for us.
yeah. Well, if I wanted to limit threat, I'd tell people they gotta offer blood too. An injured prey is easier to catch than a healthy one.
Are we walking into the woods to get hunted?
Well, not expressly, but from what Joha had said, it sounded to me like the person in these mountains is quite paranoid. And you want to limit your threat. Good to injure them first. My point is, be on your guard. We are there for information, but it is, it's not folly to know what you're going up against with the possibility of it.
Coterie Park, the people carry her up off the deserted main road in a very small, lightly tarmacked car park surrounded by trees. The sound of the running river echoes up from below, bouncing off the dense cluster of trees. A small, ancient wooden fence surrounds the car park, apart from a gap that holds a dirt path cutting through the foliage that leads up into the mountainside and through the trees. A large boulder rests just on the other side of the entranceway, bearing the kanji symbol for luck, fortune, and chance upon it. What would you all like to do?
Once we get out and we start walking, would we be able to sort of assume that this is where we should leave the offering?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Marcelina will put the sake down, and then we'll put the 2 cups next to it. And she'll pull out one of her hunting knives. And she'll look to the group and say, "You ready?" Once she has affirmatives, she will, I don't know if you'll need us to rouse the blood to kind of get it going, but she'll cut into her palm and sort of squeeze the blood out.
Do a rouse check for me, please.
Slip will use his fangs on himself.
Lovely. Rouse check for me, please, as well, Slip. Wonderful. Elias, wonderful. Bato and Kenon as well, please. Increase your hunger by 1, Kenon. But you will all wound yourself just slightly. Will your own vitae or blood to the wound and force it to drip out onto the ground as an offering. The kanji symbol seems to glow as the mix of liquid seems to drain into it. You know that your offer has been accepted, and the Kotri cautiously step forward along the path. Trees sway in a gentle breeze that seems endless. Insects chirp around you all, and the sound of light wood crashes together. The river's torrent drowned out by life in the forest. As you all walk together, is there anything you'd like to talk about?
There's not so much anything that Marcelina would need to say in this moment. But I will say that she's on like high alert. I don't know if you'd want me to roll for it, but she has her like heightened senses up to hear anything that is like off pattern to the regular sort of like what is life in the forest.
I'm able to use the joke storyteller line of you hear the trees swaying and the insects chirping louder.
Oh, wonderful,
That's
amazing.
nothing suspicious, nothing that seems out of place.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a way to tell if is this area inside the bad place with all the fucked up chi and shit? Can I feel if this is in there? I do.
Roll chi sight for me, please.
That's a rouse check, isn't it?
It is.
No. Fuck. Well, I guess I got it on. Might as well actually roll the thing that let me see through things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bitch!
That's fine. That is a success. You're alright, don't worry.
Okay. My heart.
This chi is a different kind of taint than the one in the village. The only thing here, though, are insects, birds, probably snakes, just animals. But there is something off about them, which you can't quite place.
I don't like this. I don't like
Do
this
you say
place.
that in character?
Oh, let me say it in character. I don't like this place.
Got a bad
And
feeling
why's
about
that?
this place.
Feels like we're gonna have an encounter.
Oh, well, that's very likely.
I think this place feels rather serene, don't you? You think it doesn't?
Serenity
I
is
don't-
often deceiving.
What I was gonna say. Not the good kind of serene.
Oh, yes. The calm before the storm.
It's best to always assume that there is a predator afoot.
Indeed.
Especially in a place that wants you to make an offering before you enter.
The Coven walk for what could be hours, or only minutes, noticing the sounds of insects never appear to get closer, as if pushed away from them by an intangible force. As they walk further in, they reach a small clearing to the riverside, affording them a view across the ravine. Marcelina, Sato, Kenon, and Elias can perceive an aura, sanguine in colour, emitting from the middle, and can even just about see the tip of a pagoda spire among the foliage. The earth seems to vibrate under them. Stones fall and knock together, the sound of the very ground opening as the Kotri turn in panic. They see a tall creature. A long, flowing black cloak envelops its body from its wide shoulders to the ground. A face, sallow, shaped to be elongated and bearing curves upon the edges akin to architecture so often seen on older buildings. The cat-like eyes reflect the little light that shines down through the trees, and the creature speaks, in English, but with an accent you can't quite place. You have given me tribute, and seek an audience. You may introduce yourselves to me, one at a time.
Marcelina will step forward and will say, Marcelina Nagos.
Of what clan?
Akata.
I know not this clan. Who is next?
Elias will step forward.
It's very dusty in this forest, I'm sorry.
He'll give a respectful bow. Elias Edivane of Clan Salubri.
Salubri. Warrior?
I'm a pacifist.
He is next to stand before me.
Slip will waddle on up.
Got any grapes?
Slip. Clan Nosferatu.
Clan of the hidden. Respectable. Solid. Dependable. And these two?
Sato's gonna look at Kenu, see if he wants to go first.
With
not
Sato's
dawdle.
hesitation, Kenun will step forward, offer a polite bow. Kenun.
Of? What clan?
No clan.
Aether, then. Or not. Intriguing. And finally, who are you?
Okay, I mean, how's the pause here is actually on the player's part, because now I don't know what to say. Am I gonna get in trouble? Uh, Sato Rin, also with no clan.
2 caitiff among 3 kindred. But you're not caitiff, are you? I asked you a question.
Marcelina will look at Sato and her eyebrow will go up. And there's this sort of expression of, you picked a side. Stand for a minute.
Hinun's got that perfectly blank face of like, buddy, I don't even know what caitiff is.
Of the Gaki.
Interesting. I have no name. Names are long forgotten. But you may consider yourselves guests in my domain. I am neither Tower, nor Anarch, nor Sabat. I pursue my own interests on my own terms here. What brings you to my land?
We came seeking answers about the Niktuku.
The trespasser. This forest is part of me, and I have been part of this forest since before you were born. You showed respect and offerings before entering. You showed you had no harm. That one helped himself and trespassed. I allowed it at first. The audacity of this thing that displayed so confidently to walk through my domain. I was intrigued. The second time it tried it, however, he was met with the anger of this forest and the life therein. I directed the animals, the very trees themselves, to vanquish it, but his strength was underestimated, and his advance was only stopped when he met me head-on. Not in this form, of course, but another far more monstrous one. He evaded me and ran, and since then he has not come back. But I will not forget the affront. I will never forgive the affront. If you are enemies of his, you are allies of mine for the time being. Ask your questions. Some I shall answer, some I shall not.
Am I, storyteller, based off of what he says, am I able to gather what clan he's a part of?
You don't even have to roll for that. This guy is Zamitsi, through and through. Old clan Zamitsi at that, most likely.
Okay.
At least in name.
Okay. Okay. You alright? It is our enemy. We seek to root it out and to destroy it. Our questions will surround that. What you might have gathered when you sent the forest to destroy it and when you battled it yourself.
It is strong. It is at least as strong as I. It is elusive like a fox, like a Nosferatu. I had crows follow it. I was unable to locate where it makes haven, but I have seen it preying on Canaanites, lost or lured to it.
With your wisdom, how best do you think we approach it?
A creature such as this has been cunning and making plots for hundreds of years. It will try and surprise you. It will use any element it can to attack you. Keep your eyes on each other. That is the only way I can guarantee you to be safe to some degree. If you
Understood.
can lure it to my lands once more, I could ensnare him and ensure he will not leave. But I would need forewarning and time to prepare.
How best then to contact you and give you said warning?
Can any of you use the animals of the land to send messages?
ST, I have 2 dots in animal ken. Would that aid me at all in doing something like that?
Kind of, yes. You could, without the use of vampiric power, tie a little note to a leg of a crow or something like that, and because corvids are very, very intelligent beings, and have it fly to the forest. The other alternative, of course, is just leaving a note, I suppose, at where you came in.
Right.
Never neglect
Okay.
the basics.
Okay. I have some ability. Regardless, we will send message to you. I think it only fair for you to be able to handle at least part of the forest's revenge for the affront.
I do not take kindly to those that help themselves to what is mine, and I never forgive.
Marcelina gives a bow to that.
He's gonna take the bow, because this guy is old clan Zamitzi, or at least so he thinks, and that is how people should be to old clan Zamitzi of his own stature in his own mind. He is practically royalty to himself.
Yeah, I would say that Marcelina, like, even in how she's speaking to him and how she's holding herself, is very much a trained response. Just things that she learned through the family on how to handle old clan,
Yeah.
And she'll take a moment to look at the coterie and sort of give them a chance to ask any questions if they'd like to, but she's gotten the answers to hers, so.
You don't know where it layers. Can you give a roundabout general direction? Where it-
Ukura River.
Thank you so much.
You hive, aren't you?
Yes.
He'll just be like, saying it not directly to Slip, just an almost whisper of, show me. Oh. I mean, yeah, you can roll to resist that if you want.
What am I rolling? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dice to resist.
Depends on the pool. But
Beryl
probably
whispers.
not.
Beryl whispers.
Oh. Ugh.
And every single one of the hornets that are inside of your chest all evacuate and hover in front of the Zemitsu. He's just looking over them, fascinated by them. Wonderful, wonderful creatures.
There's a half step away from Slip as he just explodes into bees.
They had a curious response to a recent incident I undertook.
Yes, they seem disturbed by something. You should look after animals. We are gods among kind. We are above that to animals. Do not neglect them. Ever.
As you say.
Just do a very small and subtle nod, and your hornets will return inside of you.
Sato is just awkwardly staring at the ground like, oh, don't look at me. Please do not look at me.
Do you have further questions?
Thank you.
for me?
Yes.
Go on.
I imagine weaknesses of the Niktoku, the intruder, quite similar.
They are Get of Cain. They'll
Yes,
burn under the
this-
sunlight as we would. They are terrified by fire as we are. They are susceptible to being staked as we are. The trick is getting close enough to one to do it. The Niktoku
Some-
are filled with rumor and legend.
Yes, some instances of we have additional banes and weaknesses. Be they separated bloodlines or individual mutations. You did not notice anything of this sort?
Is this what the blood of Cain has become? Diluted, more diluted, and more diluted with every embrace. The Niktoku are far closer to Cain than you.
So quite the opposite.
Talk of things I have no knowledge of. A Nosferatu is a Nosferatu. No interest in your jihad. The diluted blood. What has become of our kind since I escaped politicking and petty land grabs.
These nights, There's hardly any of the old blood left, I think.
Have you seen it in the sky?
We did see
ST.
it once, right? We did,
So
right?
I was just gonna ask, ST, when I first got here and I had looked over the city using Oblivion Sight, I did see something in
You
the
saw
air.
Correct.
Is this what they're referring to?
No.
No. I've seen many a things in the sky these nights. Please, enlighten us.
Legends are becoming lost as well. Slip. Surely you have heard and know what to look for in the sky. The sign of Gehenna.
Fuck me up, fam.
Is
Do I have
there-
any clue in character what the fuck he's on about? Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. We did see it at least once? Like
Quite
the...
Wormwood.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wormwood.
You know what that signifies, don't you? Gehenna is here.
I must admit, my knowledge, my education, is but a trifle. My sire, tossed me to his foes not a week after the embrace.
Irresponsible. Not surprising given how weak the blood has become after all this time. There are responsibilities of Cainites that should not be shirked. I am disappointed by the news you bring me of what Cainite society is becoming, but I am at least able to take solace, knowing that soon enough the weak will be wiped out. Whatever you believe, be it Cain himself returns, or antediluvians come to eat us all, the common factor is we will all be wiped out, and we will start again. Take this good news with you into the night.
I know my clan still practices many of their old traditions. My sire spent a great deal of time raising me and educating me and teaching me the ways of the clan before surrendering himself to me.
At least some old traditions are still acknowledged.
Thank you for your wisdom. We will return with your foe.
You get the chance. Do eliminate him yourselves. As long as balance is restored against his transgression towards me, I care not who delivers it.
With that, Marcelina will give a final bow, a very deep one, and then turn away and begin to walk away.
We're gonna give it a shot, but as you said yourself, The intruder is at least as strong as you. It will be flies swarming a spider. We'll see, though.
Wits and awareness slip.
Okay. I assume I'm not being ambushed, so I won't even ask. Unless I am.
No.
I'm really scared, Shiv. Okay.
The figure just remains completely still, as only older kindred can. And is everyone heading back to the people carrier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Walking through the forest once more. Is there anything any of you would like to talk about as you walk?
I have a question, ST.
Yes.
Given what they said, and sort of how they carried themselves, and just like their abilities, is it safe to say that like they're really old,
Yeah.
generation-wise?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, are we talking elder, or are we talking antediluvian old? Like, where on the
I
spectrum?
don't mess around with antediluvians in games. That's
Okay.
they're just
Okay.
they're plot devices to me. Of if I ever want to just hand wave something, I'll be like, antediluvian did it.
Okay.
My first clue this guy was really old. He didn't recognize your clan.
Right. That's why I asked. Okay.
Thank you for picking up on that, Elias.
No, that's why I asked, because I was like, oh, he's old as shit. He doesn't know who the Yakata are. Okay. So yeah, I think as we're walking back, if anyone opens their mouth to say anything, Marcelina will immediately go like this until they get into the car.
I'll move you into the car and allow you all to drive along the mountainside roads, each taking a comfortable seat within the air-conditioned vehicle, igniting the engine and driving away from the forest, I assume towards the abandoned restaurant along the mountainside.
Since it's on the way, yeah.
And as you all drive, what would you like to talk about?
Really quickly, the minute we have everything settled, Sato is gonna flip around in his seat and look at Kenun. Why the hell didn't you say Gaki?
It is not a clan.
I understand it's not a clan, but obviously that's not what it fucking mattered. Don't leave me out like that. I didn't know how to handle that situation anymore.
And he just looks at Sato, just like not like his face is just completely blank. Like, what's your problem even?
Perhaps you could have told him that you were formerly of Clan Tremere.
I don't even want. Look, all right, I'm not even thinking about that right now.
That would have been extremely unwise. It is
Also,
better that you said you were Gaki than Tremere.
That also is true. I don't think I should tell someone like that I was a Tremere ever.
Oh,
You would
Yes.
have been killed on the spot, so
I would be gone. I would not
very
exist.
wise.
That was not even in the record. I would have
That
said I
was
was a
very-
native.
that was very wise of you not to say that. It slipped my mind that there's some bad blood with Tremere. My apology.
That's okay.
Given how old that individual was, their old clan, Samitsi, was probably there when the shift happened.
I know very little of kindred politicking.
Oh, that's
A lot
not
of murder.
politicking. That's
Lot of murder.
not politicking. The Tremere according to the books, were once mages. They sought immortality, and they stole it, primarily from the Samiti. There's also story of them taking Nosferatu and other clans, mixing it together and creating abominations, curses. It is best that Sato never mention that they were once Tremere.
Okay, the inner VTM in me, I can't, I'm sorry. It was just, they're pissed off at the Tremere because they stole Zamitzi Koldun sorcery. I might not have got the pronunciation very well there, I apologise. In order to make gargoyles. And the Zamitzi were fucking livid about that. Well, of course they would be, it's clan secrets. But it was the Tremere stole the gift of vampirism from the Salubri.
Yeah, Kennan just gives an apathetic shrug that very much manages to communicate, I don't know, that sounds like politicking to me.
Hold on,
No,
I
you're fine,
actually do
you're
have
fine.
I have a continuation of this one. Kenun, remember how the Gaki don't like Zaulot the traitor? That's how the Zamitzi feel about the Tremere.
Understood. Then it is good you did not say such.
And how the Tremere feel about the Tremere.
And how everyone feels about the Tremere. Yes, the Tremere are kind of hated. Even by themselves.
Oh, they,
So
for the
I
most
have
part,
gathered, dear
watch out
Sato.
for each other.
Now, are you through with your complaints?
Yes. Yes, I am, sir. He's gonna
Very well, thank you.
throw his like arms in, fucking cross his arms and just sit in the fucking passenger seat, angrily step at the front of the road. Dad's being mean.
Well, we've gathered information, and that's what's important. We know what we're facing is extremely strong and of the Nosferatu in a way, and we got our work cut out for us.
Kenun,
Yes.
how's the new phone treating you?
It is a phone.
But the translator, the assisting?
Alas, not much.
No.
I never did get the hang of these infernal devices.
If you need, like, more hands-on, one-on-one assistance, I can provide.
Perhaps at a later date I shall take you up on that offer.
I'm always around.
Indeed.
Right. Well, we're going hunting. Is it safe to assume that none of you have been hunting before?
No, I've never been.
I have hunted in a sense, but not animals in the wilderness.
I've in a past life, but it's been quite some time. I'm afraid most of those skills have atrophied.
Oh, good. All right, well. What I'll say is that this is the time to make sure that if you've got any special abilities that heighten your awareness, you use them. From what I understand about Nosferatu themselves, they have varying gifts to cloak themselves. who knows with a Niktuku how old this one is. So strong that it could even take on a Samitsi of that age. We're gonna need all the help we can get. It's not a time for mistakes. You're gonna have to operate under the assumption that you fail, you die.
I do not have magic eyes, but I will assist where I can.
In a way, you do have magic eyes.
Not where it counts.
I should say that your eyes as a Nosferatu. I should like to remind us in general that Sato and I cannot feed back at the Haven. So we still must take some care with our use of tricks.
You need to go and feed you first. That assist.
Kennen looks at Sato.
Well, well, if I don't eat, I won't be able to do actually anything. I'd be better off in the car.
ST, I know we said we were on our way to that abandoned restaurant. From this position, how far out till we're in sort of untainted land?
Probably Yamagata City is the nearest.
Okay, alright, that's a little bit too fucking far. Okay. Time-wise, wherever we are at this point in the evening, would it be a waste of time to go do that first and then double back to the restaurant, or
Yeah, you
do we have time?
pushing it.
Okay. Okay, alright, understood.
But I have a solution for
so-
you that I can tell you during the upcoming break.
Okay, wonderful. We'll figure it out, Marcelina says out loud, but the direction of the car is still heading towards the restaurant.
And on that note, we'll take a break, as the prophecy foretold. We'll be right back. The coterie approached the building, finding the back way in to be a more subtle point of entry than simply helping themselves to the front entrance where any passerby could simply see the disturbance they caused. They passed through a kitchen, its large rusted stoves and hobs, and into the main dining area. It has a broken black and white laminate tile atop an exposed, damaged concrete floor. The few tables and chairs that remain have been stacked up and placed around the front door and remaining sides of the dining room, blocking the front door from easily being opened. The only table set at the floor is one in the center, neatly placed, with a simple metal and plastic chair placed in front of it. A single piece of paper is left upon the table. What would you like to do?
Is there a sort of a back door, maybe like a staff entrance type of thing, you know, that maybe would lead into the kitchen?
It's where you've come in.
So before we, I think, like fully enter in, Marcelina is doing like a quick scan to see if there's any, because I imagine there's a like layer of dust and whatnot because the place is abandoned. Would she see any prints? People walking through here or a person walking through here.
Upon the kitchen and hobs, things like that, there's this thick layer of dust, but the entire floor has been, I think cleaned would be a disingenuous thing to say, but it doesn't have a layer of dust upon the floor in any way, shape or form, but it is still quite dirty, as if it's been weathered. So I would say that you, of all people, would know that someone has gone out of their way to make sure that any foot tracks that might have been left in dust wouldn't be picked up on at all.
Okay. I think then Marcelina is gonna slowly and cautiously head towards that table that has the paper on it. But that's sort of where she's going at this point.
Before we get to the paper, is there anything anyone else would like to do?
This is the last place that the contact was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Slip's just giving the place a once-over for, like, wires, obvious traps, or other things to deter visitation or illicit activity when no one is home.
Just for traps, I'll let you have for free and nothing.
Okay.
Marcelina. The first bit of paper seems to be only part of a larger report. Only half the paper is filled with writing. Most of it simple observations that reveal little insight, other than the subject was clearly kindred as it was seen at night. But it doesn't reveal a location on this page. The last sentence seems to have been interrupted as the final sentence was being written. It trails off the side of the paper unsteadily.
Okay. Is there any signs as I read this and I look through their observations and such? Is there any signs around the room that there was a fight in here? What stopped them from riding?
Wits and awareness, or intelligence and investigation, whichever you prefer.
Okay, I'm gonna do wits and awareness. I want to use my specialty foresight.
Yes,
With this as well.
applies.
Ooh.
That's a very successful roll.
All
crit.
right.
Okay. You begin searching for signs of a struggle. The first thing you find upon your search is another piece of paper. Another piece of the report. It talks about following a subtle trail along a road leading through Miyagi Prefecture, but having to stop on a bridge as a trail led into Ukura River. And it is then that you notice a small splat of blood on the floor. Would you like to follow the blood trail?
Yeah, the coterie would sort of almost in this way that's a little bit like a bloodhound, like a dog almost. Marcelina, one hand goes to her gun, but then her body kind of lowers and she gets down close, and she's gonna look up in the direction to see where this trail of blood is going before she starts following it. Is it going out of the restaurant, deeper into the restaurant?
It leads
where's the direction?
just across the floor into a waist-high, simple cupboard, usually used to store dirty plates and cutlery to be, I think that's the term, bussed into the kitchen and washing area.
Okay, she's gonna unclip her gun and have it ready just in case. and the Kotaru see her following this trail of blood. And the way that she's walking is almost parallel to it, as she doesn't want to ruin the trails, so to speak. But also her movements themselves have become a lot quieter. Like she's kind of creeping up on whatever she may find in this cupboard.
A small splat of dried blood, nearly entirely black from age and exposure, is followed as you see another and another. The trail leads onwards to what used to be a waist-high, simple cupboard built into the wall to store dirty plates and cutlery. Marcelina follows the trail and opens the small cupboard cautiously. Stuffed inside, tightly, is a body, the legs broken awkwardly behind the back, the body's own arms used to keep them in place, the neck clearly broken, with bones sticking out of the bloodied flesh. Empty eye sockets expose the black gap straight into the skull, the mouth left agape, blood covering the chin and upper lip even too, where 4 teeth seem to have been pulled out.
Clearly, looking at it, is this a Nosferatu?
Do we roll to tell that?
Well, we should be able to just see.
A lot of Nosferatu, part of their curse is that it's like red out there on their skin, you know, some sort of
But the more
changed
recent ones, we play the more recent ones to just be very sickly looking, rather than the traditional interpretation.
Okay.
I'm gonna say on this one, you can't tell if he is simply a badly beaten corpse or a very recently embraced Nosferatu.
Marcelina puts her gun away.
But if you'd like to do
Yes.
intelligence and medicine or wits and medicine,
I will
you can find
do...
some information.
I will do a... I'm going to rouse the blood, and I'm going to do a wits and medicine. Ooh. Okay, I'll add that after the roll. I'm gonna re-roll 3 of those. So we can get some answers here.
Oh,
Okay.
lovely.
3 in total? Yeah.
Without disturbing the body, you are easily able to tell that the teeth were pulled out when this person, it seems, was alive. The cause of death appears to be shock, which would make this immortal. The rest of the damage was done post-death.
So, okay, so not torpor. This is a mortal. Okay. Okay. Very strange. Perhaps a ghoul. Marcelina's like talking to herself at this point. And she's going to start like reaching in and she's going to pull the body out and place them on the floor and rearrange them so that they're kind of lying flat and not so crumpled up.
Bones will crack as rigor mortis has set in.
She'll not look at the coterie, but she will say, I think this is our contact. Or, well, I was expecting a Nosferatu, but this is immortal. Their teeth were pulled out when they were still alive and then just bled out and died.
You think maybe it could be a vampire hunter trying to interrogate a vampire for information?
Oh, I imagine the hunters have ways to be able to tell if you are a vampire. No, this is something that knew this is immortal and did this anyway.
Oh, I see. Quite gruesome.
Yes. Are there any other injuries, like lacerations or anything like that? Or is it a situation of like they were just beaten up and
They
then,
were
the
beaten
teeth
badly.
were pulled? Yeah. Okay.
Even the teeth,
but there's
it
no
looks
like
were
cuts or
ripped
things.
out by hand somehow.
Okay. um. Yeah. Marcelina shares this information with the group, telling them sort of the gist of what's going on with this particular body. And you can see, like, this is very, like, the Hakata is Hakata-ing right now. As she kind of looks over the body and gives the information, and says, right, well, I don't know if, I don't think Joho ever specified that the contact was human, but at least now we know what happened to his guy. The information they were gathering... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, do we know why?
Well, they didn't get rid of the information. They left it here. And I pass back the papers and just say they seem to have discovered where the creature was going. The river that the Samitsi on the mountain mentioned. But there's nothing in that information that is really useful. A lot of it is just observation. That's it.
I feel like there's a decent chance that the contact was not moved, because the body is bait for Nosferatu who may be searching for a missing servant.
Nod.
Understood.
And after saying that, Slip's gonna start combing the building for, nos holes and hidey holes and sneaky snake places. And
Would you prefer wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation?
oh, that is the same pool, so I'll do intelligence investigation.
You are wandering around the building. You don't find anything that screams to you, particularly Nosferatu. However, amongst the various debris, you find a photo that shows an old wooden and brick-tiled house, nestled away among a dense, tall tree line, hidden away behind hedges and steel poles, just off of a single-file, cracked, moss-covered lane. On the back of the picture is a single word: Haven.
Oh, look, I found bait. But like real bait.
What was that? Marcelino, come over. Look at the picture.
Look at that.
Oh, wow. All right, then. Seems our friend here got very far in their discoveries.
Yeah, see, they wrote, yep, that was probably left here for us. I doubt very much that they do not wish to be found, if they are that powerful.
Who do they think they're gonna trap with this?
Well, they hunt Nosferatu.
The proud and overconfident.
Pulling out
The
those teeth
unwise.
may as well have been writing to whom it may concern.
That's
They
fair.
knew exactly who they were killing. They
Well,
knew.
we have a photograph. We have a general point of exit to the forest.
Very nearly an open invitation.
Does the river run near to this house?
Brr. I don't.
Is there
Is
is there a way? I don't know technology as well as you do, but is there a way to maybe use those? What is it called? Google Maps or some shit? And
I can
you know, how
Google
sometimes
this,
they have.
yes.
Yeah, so you find maybe an image that'll kind of give us a layout of the land.
God help me. All right, he's gonna break out his field kit and set up the hotspot, and not necessarily look for. He's not like Google image searching so much as he's trying to take that river into account. Go to Google satellite, enhance. As far as you can do, and you can do Street View. You can drop the little Google meeple, and you're just there.
Yeah.
If the Google car's been there. And so he's just gonna start slow rolling through that general area. Anything that looks like a side path or a moss covered lane.
I just want to say, enhance! That really got me, I'm sorry.
Enhanced.
Would Elias be able to see this on Slip's laptop, or would Slip have his laptop sort of facing away from it?
Oh, he doesn't care if you guys see.
Okay. Wow, Slip. You're such a wizard. You can actually control that satellite to zoom in like that? That's astonishing.
It's what I do.
How the fuck do you know what a satellite is?
Oh, well, that's what Slip said, isn't it? A satellite? Like the moon.
The word is certainly on the webpage as well.
You're not
He can read, Sato.
Shut up!
Eventually, we will have a conversation about technology and how that works with the world that we live in now. But we do have a mission, so let's maybe focus in.
Slip intelligence.
But good
and
question,
tech, please.
nonetheless. Slip. Oh, never mind.
Sorry.
Oh, wait,
You are able to
you're good.
take everything into account. After a couple of misdirections, following different or wrong forks in the road, you are eventually able to come across the exact house just on the other side of the Okura River from where you are now.
Well, very general. I think it's going to be here.
All right then. Do you think that Joho would have wanted the body back?
Oh, Joho, you know him as well as I do. I cannot imagine he's got much use for a cadaver.
Okay, so the question is, and she's looking at Slip because she needs Slip's help in this quandary.
What I will do, he'll take his phone out because he's already got Blush of Life activated, and he'll just take a picture of the body for verification. There we go.
Okay, so morally, my question is this. I can remove this body completely. Or would it be better to bury it?
The cadaver?
Yes.
Well, if you put it in the ground, it can feed the earth. But I don't have a shovel.
All right then. Marcelina is going to go look in the supply closet because every restaurant has one, and she's going to look maybe not necessarily for a shovel, but something that she can sort of break ground with.
I think anything that would have been at least semi-useful would have either been taken when they moved out or looted long ago.
Oh, shit.
If
All
you
right,
would
well.
like, I can try to use what I've got running through my veins to ferret out a small suicide grave.
No, I think it's best for us to keep our abilities for when we need them most. I don't want anyone to get hungry
Well,
from exertion.
this man is not going anywhere. We know where he is.
Yeah, all right. And she'll she'll take like, I don't know, like a leftover fucking draper or tablecloth or something and just drape it over the body. Yes, trying to show respect. And just cover it and say, right, well, we'll be back for that later then. Well, we know where we're going. Slip. Because it's so close to the river and nearest the forest, are you able to send one of your hornets to send a message? Do you think?
I could, yes?
Perhaps we should tell the Samitsi up there on the mountain that their help may be needed via your hornet. Just in case, especially if it tries to run.
Just to give you an idea of the geography, there's many miles difference between where Slip has located this place and where the Zamitsi is.
For sure, but I think
so
really, yeah. I think Marcelina's intent is just in case we do end up heading in that direction, we'll have given the Samisi enough time to prepare as they said they would need. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
It may pan out to not be needed at all, but
that's
just
fine
as
by
a
me.
hey, it might be happening.
Certainly. Yeah. I have a feeling he will remember them, and it will remember him.
Right.
I would like to send a single... I will send my most trusted bee.
What's that bee's name?
Susan B. Arthur.
Okay.
It's a good one.
And the message is simply possibly incoming tonight. And then a direction that he could expect it from.
Realistically, I have no idea how a hornet, or bee, whatever you want to call it, is going to deliver this message, but I think just the presence of your hornet / bee / whatever we're calling them tonight
He's doing
is
the little
going to be the
dance. He can
message.
do the little navigation dance.
Unless he also has Hive, which I think he does, because he made them respond to him. He could just brain it out, or maybe he's just a god. I don't know. I could send a crow if you think that would work better. Like a bird.
So that was originally my thought, but I just think he already established rapport with the hornet, which is why I thought maybe he'd like that.
The bee's presence should be
on a very tiny piece of paper.
Baby.
No, I don't think the hornet's
Hold
gonna,
on, I've got some
like
elastics.
that.
Hold on.
They are very
just,
large bees.
Just put a note. Yep, I'm gonna just pen out a little note and use a little
Be ready.
A tiny elastic, and I'm just gonna just wrap it around that dumpy, and then put the band on there, and then let it go from there.
This started out very dignified for Susan B. Arthur, and then it went real south.
I apologize for nothing.
Farewell. Farewell.
Amazing.
There she goes. Godspeed, Susan.
Those are the ones I hate.
What? No, you hate Justin Bieber.
How about we don't talk about that anymore? Okay?
Sorry.
How about we just don't mention that? Maybe we don't do that. Right?
Sorry, I wasn't. Sorry.
And
We
kind
heal
of
from
pat Sato
trauma.
on the shoulder.
Let's not delve in deeper, right?
What if we are believers?
I'm getting the fuck out of here. Marcelina
Yeah,
starts
there
walking
will
the
be a
fuck out.
I don't know.
Canun, will meditation help me shut my mouth?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Cool.
Look
I
at
need to
that.
do that more.
You shall learn.
Yes, I will. I'm gonna go sit in the
Yeah.
car now.
Marcelina
It just
actually
gives
takes
Sato a pat on the shoulder.
takes
Another
the
one.
keys out, and when Canun comes out, she'll toss him the keys.
Catches them somewhat surprised.
She says nothing and just gets in the car.
Yeah, he asks nothing and also just gets in the car.
And in the back or in the passenger seat?
In the back.
Okay. I would have acquiesced the passenger seat. Marcelina, do you want to sit in the passenger seat, or are you okay back there?
No, I'm good. I'm alright.
Okay. Scramble into the passenger seat.
Anyone places himself in the driver's seat. Once more starts the engine of the car. Travels through the mountainside road, making your way down the twisted, winding road. The few trees there are fly past like a blur, slowly becoming denser as you descend. As you travel through the night, grass bank and trees zooming past and fading behind you. Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
One thing y'all would have noticed is that this was a strategic move by Marcelina, because she can't drive a car and make sure something doesn't pop out the fucking trees at us. And so she rolls down the window, and you see that she's got her gun sort of poised and is watching, like, super carefully for any kind of bizarre movement out there, just in case something here's to come and decides it's going to get the jump on us. She'd like to squeeze off a few rounds.
Same thing, opposite side of the car.
Okay.
I think Elias would be sitting in the middle.
Yes!
Cannon just driving, occasionally glancing in the rearview mirror just to make sure they're not eating each other back there.
There. Thanks to Slip's research, from the evidence the coterie found, he is able to help guide the people carrier on the correct course when the road forks. The coterie pass over a bridge, the Ukura River running fast beneath them in a deep ridge surrounded by evergreen trees on both sides. Slip guides the people carrier off the road at a fork. The vehicle proceeds forward along a neglected, narrow-track road riddled with cracks. Nature has already begun to reclaim the tarmac road that winds slowly up, until after a short drive, they find the old and abandoned house, their target. They bring the people carrier to a stop and turn the engine off. What would you like to do?
I was an old Nosferatu. Where would I be hiding? Marcelina is like not looking directly at the house. She's kind of like looking around it.
If this was my gambit, I would be in the tree line across from the house.
Right. Okay.
I would fill the house with traps, of course, and approach only after one or two had gone off. If you like my personal opinion on the matter.
No, I absolutely appreciate it. And like as she's saying that, she's going through her bag, and you notice that in her bag is just weapons. And she's pulling out one of her bigger guns. So one of the bigger guns, but then also the gun that Slip made for her. That has the special bullets in it. So yeah, one gun that has armor piercing and the other that has the special phosphorus stuff.
No problem at all.
I could try to go in and set off any of the traps so that everyone else can be fresh for the battle.
Sure.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
I have heard better ones.
I don't exactly want to send Elias in there alone.
Well, I could also chuck a party popper through the glass because fuck this guy.
Yeah. That is one
Would
way.
you
That
want
is one
to
way.
risk doing that, though, considering the house is made of wood,
No.
surrounding trees there, and
No,
that's an inferno
you don't want to
waiting
do that.
happen?
Well, it's more of a shrapnel dispersion than a flame grenade. It's just wooden metal
See
shards.
what the dice decide.
Eh?
I feel like that's the thing to do here. Get a vibe check.
Yeah, let's a vibe check. Yes.
Slip, do you think one night I could get... You talked about a shield of some sort. That would be useful for traps, wouldn't it?
Depending on the trap, yes. I tried to acquire the materials for this, but there's only so much we can do. I'll keep looking. It's more of a matter of materials than skill or willingness.
Maybe we could
You know-
ask the local police department if they have extras.
I'm
You
sure they
most
love giving
certainly
out
can.
police department equipment to cool guys like us, actually.
But you know what? Elias
I'm
has
sure
very
you could
special
definitely
skills.
do that, actually.
Yeah, Elias has very special skills. I imagine they would love to help him out. Again, focus.
Yeah. Can I get a
And-
vibe check?
Yeah.
What you say?
Just Kenon looking?
I mean,
I'll
I
look
have
too.
Oblivion sight and heightened
I mean,
senses. That's all I got going for me.
I can also look too. It's the same kind of vibe check, but I would be happy to vibe check.
It's more. Does anyone with Sense the Unseen or Oblivion sight wish to activate?
I will activate my
Okay.
Oblivion sight.
Marcelina, your eyes fill with pitch blackness. And Kenon as well. Oh, damn, Elias. Could tell you went to Specsavers.
Okay.
Got special glasses.
Specialized.
You
I
will
got my
see
special eyes on. Yes.
an aura, the presence of death, is emanating from this house.
Marcelina is gonna slip out the car, and she's gonna just do a quick scan of the area. Is there any other spots that have that same aura, or is it just the house?
It's just the house. It's emitting from the house itself.
Okay.
There is a powerful aura of death emitting from this house.
Elias, you got a crit, actually, so I'm
Oh.
going to say that because of your crit, this aura is particularly vivid to you. And you're able to see that the aura you're seeing outside the house is fairly weak, as if you were just looking at the very boundaries of this aura. Wherever this aura is sourced from, it is deeper into the house, possibly underneath the house.
This aura of death emanating from the house seems to be weakest near the perimeter of the house. I believe the source of the aura is deeper in the house, perhaps in the basement.
That does make sense.
Oh, well. Or in the ground. Or maybe tunnels.
Well, you've been to my place.
Right.
All right, Slip's
Well,
gonna
we're
start
gonna
walking
have
towards
to-
the house.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go into
Yeah.
that space. So yeah, for sure. Walking towards it, but definitely like heightened senses up, fucking waiting for something to pop out so I could shoot if I need to.
Which heightened sense are you activating? Sight? Hearing?
I'm gonna keep Oblivion side up. So hearing is what I'm gonna heighten.
Okay. You're able to step in to the house. The door is unlocked and creaks, echoing into the night. A shattered wooden floor lies in front of the coven. The interior has long been stripped bare of any furniture inside, leaving only support beams, since the second floor is caved in, leaving various piles of stacked debris spread randomly across. The smell of petroleum lingers in the air. Marcelina, wits and awareness for me, please, with a +1 due to heightened senses. You are able to hear something that is just out of earshot. It's incredibly faint. But it is something that is not of this house. It is clearly not something of nature outside of the house. You can hear something coming from beneath you. Just barely.
Marcelina puts a hand like this to her mouth, touches her ear, and then points below. You said there's like a hole in the floor, right?
No.
No.
There are pieces of scattered, stacked debris.
Okay.
But Elias has said that
is there
whatever's emitting seems to be coming from underneath the house.
Right. Is there any, like, I don't know, like carpets or anything like that, or is just bare wooden floor, yeah?
Just bare wooden floor.
Okay. Marcelina is actually going to get out of her shoes and carefully set them down, and lower herself. Oh God, Chastity, am terrified. Okay. So yeah, she's gonna do that so that she's silent, or as silent as she can be, and is going to try to follow the noise so that she can kind of pinpoint where in the floor this noise is sort of coming from.
It's an awareness with a +1, please.
Okay.
Proceed across the entire house slowly and cautiously, stopping, putting your ear to the floor, and eliminating where the noise is weakest. Doing a dance inspired by Michael Jackson. And eventually, you're able to discern where the noise is strongest, just in front of a large pile of debris.
Ooh, child. Okay. I think I'm assuming the others are behind me. And she's just gonna put a hand out and kind of like point at the debris. And kind of, gun out, ready.
It's like an explosion from a French cheese factory in here. Debris everywhere.
Yeah, I'm pointing at the particular pile that I hear the noise coming from.
Are there any,
Okay.
I was going to look around the debris. Is there any particularly, I don't know, sharper debris that I could pick up and use as a weapon?
You'd be able to find a, splintered plank, no problem.
That is now mine.
So I'm just going to motion for Marcelina, her guns, to swap with him, and he'll move to investigate the debris for, like, is this just shifted, or is there like a... How complex is this, or is this just a plug on top of a big hole?
Marcelina has the gun, like, almost like over Slip's shoulder, just in case.
Intelligence investigation, please, Slip.
Certainly.
Would you like to stick with it? Would you like to re-roll? I feel it's fair to say there is a potential for a messy crit.
Yeah, that's the last thing I want. I think he's going to give up trying to investigate it and then just try to shift it.
That seems fair. You don't even need to roll to shift it. You just throw pieces of debris to one side, being very careful to not make too much noise, until eventually you realize that there is a trap door underneath this pile of debris that has been carefully placed to obscure it.
Okay. Field kid out. He's checking the door to the nos hole for traps.
Yeah. It is not trapped. But there is a smell of petroleum stronger than ever leaking out.
You smell that?
Yes, I do.
Do you think the entire house could be a trap?
It didn't cross my mind.
Well, yeah, when we got into the car, I said I wouldn't even be in this shit. Potentially, I mean, whatever layer he's got, or they, or she, whatever, has beneath this place, they probably have eyes on us right now, and are waiting for, I assume, what is a very flammable set of stairs to be navigated. If you would all like to back up very far away, I will lift the door.
Marcelina doesn't move. She stays next to Slip. If anything,
Sounds
she'll
awesome.
only backpedal, like do one step back to allow him to like lift the thing up,
Yeah.
but otherwise she stays there.
Don't worry, Slip. If there's something under there, I'll jump in the way.
Appreciate
That's
you.
where Elias gets a pat on the shoulder.
Okay. He's gonna lift up maybe an inch and peek under the trapdoor.
Trapdoor is lifted successfully. The stench of petrol fills even your nostrils, and you can just barely see dim light at the bottom of a tunnel, with a ladder straight in front of you.
Okay, let's
And the
play
sound
a
of
game.
machinery echoing up the tunnel.
Uh-huh. Okay. Breaking the field kit out. Breaking out the drone we bought 1,000,000 years ago.
Yeah.
With the camera on it, and I'm going to try to fly that little bastard down into the tunnel and take a little peeky poo around.
Intelligence and tech.
Would this benefit from robotics? It's a drone? I don't know. It's up to
feel
you?
That would, yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful. You're
I'll
able to-
re-roll all of those ones.
Okay. Okay.
I really want to map the Nos hole full of traps. If I really want to. Alright, 5.
But you're not going to.
I mean, it's better. It's better.
It's better, yeah.
It's a little better.
You're able to successfully guide the drone down to the bottom of the shaft. The camera immediately takes note of a generator pumping out electricity, and clearly the source of the petroleum smell. In front of the drone are various dim lights that just barely eke out enough to show the tunnel goes on forwards. Linked in to the generator, no doubt.
I've literally got the feed up on the laptop, so like anyone who wants to look at it can look at it. His eyes are glued to the screen, and he's just going to guide the drone down the hall.
Marcelina's eyes are actually not on the laptop at all. Her focus is going from the opening to just like if there's windows, she kind of every once in a while glances at windows and kind of is, taken in just in case, anything wants to leap out, but it's like invisible. With her hearing still up.
Slip, you are able to guide the drone down the tunnel. It simply comes to an end with a fork, either side of which is a door, loosely made out of random planks of wood, with a small bit of rope on each acting as a handle.
Okay, he will describe what he is seeing and then bring the drone back. Pack his kit up.
Okay. How do we want to approach this?
Silence of death. He's going to climb down the ladder.
Oh my god! Okay,
Okay.
fuck. So,
Okay.
Marcelina is gonna fucking go down with him too, god damn it. But she's going to use her specialty of stealth against Kindred.
How wide is the hallway, Shiv?
The tunnels
Yeah.
barely walk two abreast.
Okay, so here's my question. Could Slip, with his... keeping his clan in mind, and also his physical strength, could he... 1 foot, 1 hand on either side, and kind of navigate above the floor down the hall?
Wall walk.
Are you trying to
Kind of. Like very insectoid, kind of like...
Skitter,
Like
skitter.
Splinter Cell, just kind of hands and feet on the walls.
Yeah, kind of. It's a nos hole. He's anti-nos. He's doing all the dumb shit that like he would do in like, his own haven right now when alone. He's a sewer gremlin, and he's gremlining about.
That's awesome.
But stealing gremlin.
I mean, yes, but only to a small extent, as that there is literally a power for that, and if I allowed you to just straight up use that, it would negate anyone ever bothering to get that power. And they'll be all like, oh, well, let Slip do this.
Oh,
So I'm
sure.
going to go at like a 45-degree angle rather than a full 90-degree angle along a tunnel.
Oh yes, he's not on one wall. It's only when there's enough. It's only when there's so little space between 2 walls that he can elevate himself like any person might.
Bracing himself against both, yeah.
I mean, you're still going
That's
to
why I
be
asked how wide
basically
it was.
crawling on the floor at this 45-degree angle as opposed to 90.
I'll take it. I'll
Okay.
take whatever I can get. That's fine. Yeah. All right, but yeah, he's full skitter. He's never done this in front of anyone except maybe Sato before.
Can I also go down and do the thing where I don't have to touch the floor?
You can if you do a rouse check for me, please.
Yeah, I would like to say no to gravity.
That's absolutely fine.
So, Marcelina is down there behind Slip, seeing him skitter. I'm going to use my stealth against Kindred, if yeah.
Yeah.
And because she doesn't have shoes or anything, how she comes down the ladder itself, she like just allows her feet to sort of sink into the earth. and is like gently dragging her feet through the earth as to not make any kind of like thudding sounds or anything like that.
Kenun's going through the motions as they're walking, but he's just like floating like an inch above the ground.
Elias will climb down as well.
Okay. Sato, do you want to be left in the house alone, or would you want to go?
I was before heading down with the rest. Really quickly, can I look around to see if I can find like? Obviously, I got the wooden thing. But is there like another piece I could grab? Because this wood's probably going to break the first time I smack someone with it. So is there like some metal?
No,
Or is it another second piece of wood?
it's just wood.
I'll take up a second piece of wood and then I'll climb down there.
Okay.
Do I do stealth and dexterity? Stealth and stamina?
No, it's free. You're free.
Oh, okay. Delightful.
That because it would only be an opposed roll if someone was actively searching for you,
Got you. Okay.
or you were deliberately trying to sneak past someone
Right.
able to find you.
Okay.
And you will all eventually come to the end of the tunnel, reaching the fork. Planks of wood at each end, loose rope adorning it, acting as ad hoc doorways at the end of each tunnel. Where would you like to go?
With my heightened senses and the oblivion side up, can it give me a clearer view?
Wits and awareness with a +1 for heightened senses.
Okay.
I'm feeling generous. You're able to hear
Thank you.
a pulse. It's still very faint, very weak, very slow, coming from one of the doors.
Oh, pulse. What the fuck? Okay. I'll get like really up close to Slip, where I'm like basically pressed up against his back, and I'll say to him in the direction of the pulse, I'll say, I can hear a heartbeat. That direction. Seems a little weird, don't you think?
I still don't know how you guys can do shit like that. Dare I ask, does it sound like a fist-sized heart, something larger, something smaller?
I don't know.
I was-
I don't know that Marcelina can
That's
tell
gonna
the
be
size
pretty
of a
much
heart.
impossible to roll for. it.
Yeah.
The pulse is very weak as it is.
Okay. So do we think that is potentially where lunch is being kept?
It's quite possible.
You want me to open the door?
She like very slowly, so that is like the softest sound of the safety coming off of her gun, and just nods her head.
And Shiv, at this point, just assume every hallway, every door, he's checking it all. Just so I don't have to keep pestering you with, I'm searching for traps.
Yeah, that's it's fine.
Yeah.
Just assume that whenever you're assuming to ask that I'm saying there's no traps.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Loud and clear. All right, he will open the door very slowly, very carefully.
Slip cautiously proceeds towards the planks of wood and opens the room, finding it almost pitch black, the only light coming from the dim lights behind him that leaks into the small chamber. The smell of stale blood, rotting flesh, and worse fills even his nostrils. Shuffling just out of the light source is a figure breathing heavily and strained.
Okay. I'm gonna... I'm not excited to do this. Marcelina will kind of like, in this very like fluid motion, sort of like get in front of Slip. She's gonna kind of get down a little low, and sort of on top of her gun is this like light, little tiny flashlight that's attached. She's gonna flick that on. Because for some reason, vampires can't fucking see in the dark. So she's gonna
yeah, vampires without Oblivion sight can't see it. With Oblivion sight can't see in the dark. But yeah,
well,
flick the torch on.
I have a crew of people who may not be able to.
And
so
cast it around the room, and you see various limbs detached in various states of rot. Among the very many severed limbs, hiding behind someone's arm, is a mortal. Disheveled would do this man a service. He is terrified, shaking, quite obviously malnourished. And as you pass the beam of light over his face, he just says, "I won't tell you anything. You can beat me, starve me, make me drink, whatever it is. I will not tell you anything."
So I don't know if you'll allow me to do this, but in like a blur of movement, Marcelina is on this person and putting her hand on their mouth and is going like this.
Yeah.
I do have celerity, so.
and it's a very short leap anyway, and this man is not in any state to put up a fight, especially with a kindred.
She covers their mouth and just whispers, "We're gonna get you out of here. Get up." Or rather, can you get up?
Barely just turn his head to you and just say, kind of. I'm not very good at expressing these kind of things without it sounding very tacky, so I'll just tell you that he is quite obviously weak. He is not got any of his own power left, and I would like you to do wits and awareness for me, please. With a +1 for sight.
Yes, alright. That's fine, I'll do that. I'm so scared. Okay. Marcelina is not, though. Marcelina is calm, cool, and fucking collected. We're gonna re-roll. We will do that because I cannot afford to fuck around today.
Okay.
Never mind, the dice gods don't give a fuck about me.
Yeah, you re-rolled the exact same numbers on different dice. Apart from the 4, what are the odds?
Jesus Christ. Okay, it's fine.
So how are you dealing with this man?
Shit. Okay. Look at me. Elias, where are you? in the movement of the group? Where are you? Are you behind Slip? Where are you?
I think the stealthy people kind of went in first, so it's probably Slip, you. I think Kinun is floating behind you, and then I believe I'm behind Kinun.
Okay, all right.
I think I'm last.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this were an alien
she's
game,
gonna
Sasso
just
would be the one picked off first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Marcelina will just turn her head and like make a hand, like move her hand to summon Kinun. She's like, get your ass over here type of movement. And then she'll say, once Kinun is close, will say, "It's help getting out of here. Get him out."
Yeah, at that point, just try to help the dude up.
Yeah. I have to bundle him up. Very least offer him some kind of support, because he is not got any of his own power to be able to stand, let alone walk.
Yeah, I'm just gonna just pick up this guy more or less and just sort of carry him away.
Yeah, taking him out of the small chamber.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And as you cross the threshold to the small chamber,
Shit.
and the man's chest explodes. A very small, concentrated explosion. Kenon is left holding what is left of the man's body.
And
Would
just
I have seen
sighs
that?
and drops it.
It's not a subtle thing. A man's torso just exploding.
Oh,
Oh,
that's horrible. He had a chest burster.
I'm going to need to do
Elias.
laundry.
Shut up. Shut up. Damn it. Well,
Sort of gives Marcelina the long-suffering look of a man just exploded in my arms. Do you think we still have stealth?
Marcelina looks at Kennu, and there's just this almost telepathic moment of being like, you keep wanting me to do good, and look what happens. It's not actually Kennu's fault, but she's blaming him right now. And she will creep along back out and just be like, well, I guess we know what door he's in.
Yep, at the door.
What was that? I can't believe I'm so upset. The man just exploded, Sato.
Slip's gonna move to the other door and wait for everyone to be ready before he opens it.
Yeah, so very like military movement of she has her back against the sort of wall there so that when he opens the door, she'll be the first to turn in and be ready to shoot.
Opening the door.
Yes.
Door is opened slowly. A small candle sits in the middle of the floor, the flame dancing over a figure tied in chains and sat upon the floor, with their back to the wall, dressed in heavy but patchy black fabric, exposing bone clinging, death-like pale flesh. A rough, thick piece of wood extends out from the chest of the figure.
What the fuck? The light on my gun is still up and is sweeping the room.
Empty.
Slip will
Aside
crawl
from
towards
this
said figure.
figure. Yeah.
I mean, Marcelina follows in, you know.
Does it look like a kindred has been staked? And
That is exactly what it looks like.
Nosferatu?
Yeah, you don't need to roll for that. Exactly that.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Well, I don't think now is the time or place to pull out the sliver.
Nope, leave that shit in. Marcelina. Oh, I hate this. I don't want to do this because what if he explodes? Okay. Marcelina
What are you
is
doing?
going. Oh! We have to search the body.
Okay, hold on.
How'd you make the last one explode?
A moment. Can I look the body over for incisions and signs of fucking organ exploding bombs and such?
I'll let you do that for free.
Oh.
And you find nothing. His body does not appear to have been tampered with in any way, aside from the rather aggressive piece of wood jutting out from the chest.
Don't quote me on this, but this one is not going to blow up.
Probably.
It's also fair to say this is most definitely a Nosferatu.
I want to question it, but I can't because as soon as I pull that chest out, it's going to try to eat Elias. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fuck.
What if we have Elias leave the room?
Oh,
You're going to go into Hunger 5 frenzy.
do you want me to help them?
No.
Not,
No.
Maybe later, big guy.
This is not the time. You will get eaten, okay? And I don't know how old this one is, so we might not be able to fight it. Fuck. So all there is like chains around it, and then the wood. Does it look...
This
God.
body has been chained and then staked.
Okay. Is there like... Oh, Jesus. Is there evidence either in the room or through the chains or whatever to say whether this was the Niktuku or if this was... Because Niktuku, we know, are known for their brutality. Does this look more like hunter shit?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm going to have to give a
Are the
point
chains
redemption
just
for actual suggestions from people watching, I think.
Well, unless we are willing to feed this individual, pulling the stake would get us nothing but at most a threat, and at least a useless screaming beast.
There is chains around it, so that's good.
And I'm not willing to donate right now.
No. But there is a bunch of dead fucking bodies in that other room.
Bits of them, at any rate.
I'm not sure that would be sufficient, unless this one has a particular taste.
The man said before he died that he won't say anything no matter how long he was starved, kept in there, or made to drink something.
Could be another servant of the one who sent us this way.
Quite possibly. There's no clues here other than this individual. I really don't know the best way to go about this.
There's no way to proceed further past this room, right, Shiv?
Correct. This is
Like, it's just the 2 rooms.
Mm-hmm. Would you like some time to think about your next move? Say a week.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we do need to figure out what to do.
Yeah, because this is... I just don't trust any movements at this moment.
I am covered in that man's blood.
Yeah.
Bro, I got
We will-
wood.
Well,
Bring an end to this week's session, but we'll let Slip have the last say.
there's a very real possibility that this is maybe childer of what we're searching for, and the intention is that we try to save them, pull the sliver, get more than we bargained for.
I say we help him. If I was in that situation, I would want help.
Of course.
Yes, Elias, but you are a walking sandwich, okay? And I can't afford for this man to wake up and then eat you.
It may well be that the most helpful option is to wait for this moment and take that action later.
With all of my friends here to protect me, I'm sure you could pull him off. Or I could just walk out of the room or something.
I already offered
If
that option.
we unstake this individual, we transport them first.
Yes, we could transport them someplace where they can be secured.
No, where they can be verified as friend or foe or unknown by Nosferatu with more know than me.
Take a picture of him.
Right? That's probably fine. Click.
We're gonna leave him here. We'll come back once we know if he's friend or foe.
And I think that's it. I think we're good.
Yeah,
Sorry.
call him.
We'll bring it to an end here then. Thank you all for coming and watching. You are all greatly appreciated. Thank you all for coming and playing. You are also all greatly appreciated. That said, let us go over. This week, in order of most likely to draw the curtains during the day for a completely innocent reason, Marcelina, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chastity. You can find me all over the internet as the Risa Rave. I am here on Table of Horrors every Fridays and Mondays. We do all kinds of games here, so you should stick around and watch all of our stuff. But I'm also on Lanyap Gaming. We go live every Tuesdays and Sundays. Currently, we are playing a VTM V5 game called Blood and Jazz, so definitely check that out. Go onto our YouTube and all that shit to catch up on things that may have been missed.
Kenon, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Somehow I'm always caught by surprise. Who am I? Hi, I'm Daybreakathon. You can find me playing video games poorly over here on Twitch as Daybreakathon. I also usually around Fridays and Mondays and times, yeah. I do character. I did the character art for the characters who have art. Commissions are open. And I've written a couple of fantasy novels. If you want to check that out, that'd be great. My dog is here and says hello.
Streaming?
Yeah, I do that.
Okay. Sato, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I am Softy. I am known all over the internet as Softonomicon. I am here on Tale of Horrors every Friday as Sato Rin and every Monday as a Cosmic GM. I do artwork and video games variety streaming. I'm doing a lot of artwork now on Tale of Horrors, including all the stuff for Shadowrun, and yeah, other than the character art, because that's days.
Hi!
And my brain isn't working good. I'm Shiv's hedgehog husband, and that's all I remember.
That's all we need, honey.
That's all we need. I love you.
I love you. Slip, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Yeah, I do stuff sometimes. Hi, I'm Vambetti. I variety stream here on Twitch. Sometimes by myself, sometimes with a decent portion of these folks here. I'm Vampire Father on Twitter. I'm here Mondays and Fridays for this game here, and Run the Flood on Mondays. Shadowrun, where we're getting real cheeky and making slushies and stuff.
I honestly didn't know you could make a purple slushy that way, but there we go. Elias, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I am Noskavian. I play Elias, and you can watch me. I play Elias and Jason. You can watch me on Fridays playing VTM on Table of Horrors, and you can watch me on Monday playing Shadowrun Table of Horrors.
We've got some bits in the pipeline on the works and stuff. Check out links down below for links to Discord, YouTube, anything you so wish. And of course, we can't go legally, morally, until Kenon says line.
I am absolutely covered in blood. I am going to have to do so much laundry when we get back.
We will go a raiding on Gimli Q, who are also playing Vampire the Masquerade. Stick around for them because they're a good bunch of people. Good laugh. Thank you all.